Hi, I'm Woody Huffines. I own the NerdsToGo in McKinney and Frisco, Texas, and this is Tech for the Untechnical. And we've got more great news on the Internet of Things security front. Not really. Palo Alto Networks, which is a provider of information, they do a lot of network information, and they've got a lot of network tools that can crawl across networks like web crawlers and find information out about devices that are connected to the Internet. And today they published a report where they went out and they polled 1.2 million Internet of Things devices connected to corporate infrastructures and healthcare infrastructures and developed some pretty disturbing statistics. 83% of the imaging items that are connected to the Internet are on an old version of Windows, Windows 7 to be specific. 83% are on unsupported versions of the software. So not only is 83% of the stuff on unsupported versions of software, 98% of the traffic that these things are putting out is unencrypted, which means it's in open text, which means if anybody gets into that network or gets into that Internet of Things device, they can see the unencrypted data. Now you might think, what do I care if my x-rays that they take in an x-ray imaging device are unencrypted? Well, when they move that data, they also have to move the metadata or the tags or the information about that data. So it's not just a picture of your x-ray. It could be your name, your social security number, your doctor's name, whatever they may have in terms of what condition they're x-raying for. There's a lot of personal data that goes in that. And here's the one that disturbs probably the most. 72% of the Internet of Things devices that they found connected to a network are on undifferentiated or unsegmented networks. In other words, those devices are on a network that share other devices that aren't just Internet of Things devices, but computers, servers, and other things. And that's the problem. For a long time, the things that most Internet of Things devices were subject to and the attacks that people were using is to put them into botnets, to either do crypto mining or do distributed denial of service attacks. In other words, they would take the Internet of Things device over and use that Internet of Things device to attack other computers or do cryptocurrency mining. They're seeing a shift in Palo Alto Networks where increasingly the malware and the breaches in Internet of Things security devices are used to compromise the entire network. So it's not just using the Internet of Things breach to do crypto mining or botnets or something like that. It's to get into the network using that Internet of Things interface to get into the network and then cross the network and then install malware, whether it's ransomware or stealing data or other things. They're using that IoT device to get in. Now, you might ask, why do I care about industry Internet of Things devices or medical Internet of Things devices other than the privacy concerns that you might have about the medical devices? Well, here's the thing. Attacks do not ever get less effective. Anytime that there's an attack done and anytime a computer or a computer network is under attack, the bad guys learn things from that attack. And so it's kind of a trickle-down effect. And it starts with state actors. And when I say state actors, I mean governments. The government of North Korea, the Russian government, the Chinese, the Iranians are playing really big in this cybersecurity world, learning how to compromise networks. Now, again, you might think, well, really, are the Iranians after me? Well, no, the Iranians aren't after you. However, in most weapons situations, if you use a weapon on somebody, the weapon goes away. You don't know how to build a bomb just because someone dropped a bomb on your building. The bomb lands, it explodes, the building blows up, but you don't have the bomb. The bomb was consumed in the attack. The problem with this Internet of Things stuff, and the problem with network security and computer security generally, is when the threat actors are state-level threat actors and they can use state-level money, government-level money to develop things, and they put something out that is a malware or a compromise or some kind of attack. That weapon, and make no mistake, it is a military-level weapon, has all of the information you need to duplicate it. If I drop a bomb on somebody, they can't duplicate the bomb because the bomb's gone. If I use malware against them, they have the malware code and can back calculate it and break it down and figure out how to use it for themselves. We've seen that in a lot of the ransomware attacks, a lot of the malware attacks in the last 5 years, because the state actors have been so active in going out and putting this stuff out that the bad guys, whether they're ransomware folks or script kiddies, are finding ways to use that information. So you need to care about the whole Internet of Things landscape, because any part of the Internet of Things landscape gives a playground for the bad guys, whether they're state actors or the entrepreneurs that are out for money or the script kiddies that are stealing somebody's stuff to play with. That's a playground for them to get better at their skills, so that they can learn more and more about how to compromise Internet of Things devices. And while it's probably worth a state actor going after large infrastructure to blackmail the United States, like the Iranians, the recent pipeline takeover by somebody that was a state actor, or compromising infrastructure. And then it gets down to the entrepreneurs who use this stuff for ransomware, and they're targeting large organizations from ransomware. And then eventually it filters down to somebody who wants to send out 10,000 emails, hoping that you, one of the people that click on the email that gives them the ability to compromise your Internet of Things security by getting some kind of network key or network information to break into that. So the Internet of Things security landscape gets more and more complex, because as it expands into more and more areas like medical and like IT infrastructure, that means that there are more and more chances for people to get smart about how to compromise that security, until we start taking security seriously in the Internet of Things. So if you're going to use Internet of Things devices, recognize that it's a dicey landscape. Recognize that you need to segment your network to get those things away from your other computers, so that the trend, which is to use Internet of Things device to compromise your whole network, doesn't get you into the mode where script kiddies or entrepreneurs, internet bad guy entrepreneurs, are using the information that they're gathering from all of this Internet of Things security landscape to attack you, your home, or your small business. I'm Woody Huffines. I own the NerdsToGo in McKinney in Frisco, Texas. This has been Tech for the Untechnical. Hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment.